feelings aching far and deep, unfinished long ago.
Yacht Air. Good evening, everyone. This is a wonderful special occasion. Welcome back to Indigenous Ways Wisdom Circle. We are very blessed to all be here tonight, and we want to take this moment to acknowledge the traditional owners and ancestors of these tribal lands, Okapoke Owinge, also known as Santa Fe, and we are residing in a home that is to us a Pueblo dwelling. So thank you all for being here with us, and we want to send out blessings to your places of being as well, and caretakers of your lands wherever you're zooming in from. So this evening we are going to host G. Precious, also known as Brenda Atencio, who was born and raised on the Indian reservation of Oke Owinge, and it's also known as the Village of the Strong. And she was raised by her grandmother, Gregorita Atencio. G, as we call her, continues to write as a means to deal with the dynamics of life, including experience with alcoholism, drugs, depression, suicide, and loss. And we want to welcome G. Precious to our platform this evening. Thank you very much for being with us this evening. Would like to start with saying hi and tell us a little bit about yourself and some of your childhood history and stuff like that.
Awesome. Singit Samu. Good evening, everyone. My name's G. Precious, born and raised Oke Owinge. My grandmother was definitely a great role model for me. Brought me up from infant. I was actually born at home on the couch. And she was so scared when I was born, but she always told me that I was going to do something great in life, and so she supported me all my life, keeping me on a good path. And I'm just very, very thankful for her and teaching me my culture, my tradition, my language, and just being an all around great support for me. And so born and raised Oke Owinge, went to elementary there as well, San Juan Day School. I was a little warrior, and from there I went on to Española and onto the Santa Fe Indian School from there, and continued my education. My grandmother stressed education as a means of making it in this world. She always said, we live in two worlds. We have our traditional way of life, our traditional way, and then we have the outside world where we need to also make a living. And she stressed education to me. And so I took that a whole, very, very seriously for myself. I got my bachelor's in business management with a minor in accounting. A lot of people, look at me surprised when I say I have my master's in legal studies, Indigenous law. And so that's just a little bit about me.
That is so good to know. I've never had any idea that you have all of this education behind you. I really was taught by my people from the Navajo lands that it's like crawling up that ladder. There's always an image of a ladder crawling up, and they call the higher grasslands, and having the tradition and the culture and the language, and then also learning about the mainstream way of being in order to be in it and be able to succeed in it. So I think that's a really beautiful way to be able to pivot back and forth, on and off the reservation and stuff like that. So that's wonderful. What got you into music?
I started writing at a real young age, about 6 years old. And I just used it as a way of just healing for myself. I truly started out with poetry, just writing poetry, about everyday life, growing up on the res, being with my grandmother, helping to raise my siblings, and just the everyday struggles. My mother was absent from a majority of my life due to alcoholism. My father was also not in the picture. And so, I really didn't have, anything outside of just writing to be able to, handle those small little issues and things that I was seeing at a young age. And writing was just my way of healing. And as I got into my teenage years, I started putting my writings to music. And that's when it just took a whole new life for me. And, just thankful for that experience to be able to express myself through writing.
I see. So I'm curious, how did it feel growing up with a Pueblo mother, Okewinge, and African American father? Because I had that. My father was a French Irishman that was with a Navajo woman. Was that a little bit different for you? Can you talk about that a little bit?
It was definitely tough. At that time, I think I was one in 3 children in the Pueblo that were part African American. And so I was bullied a lot for that, for being darker, for being darker in color, for being tall. There were just so many things about me that people whispered about. And as a child, you're just so innocent. You don't see color. You don't see a lot of things that adults see. We see ourselves as just little kids living and enjoying life, making friends, doing all the cool things that kids should do, and not really dealing with the issue of race, the issue of, being raised by your grandparents, and all the other kids around you had 2-parent homes. You just didn't really pay attention to a lot of that until you were teased, until you were bullied about it, not knowing, who your father was, just bullied for little things that, you really didn't pay attention to until it was pointed out to you. And then you realize, wait a minute, there's something different about me. There's something that makes me different than all the other kids that I'm growing up with. And one of them was being Black.
Right. Well, you're definitely not alone. I totally can relate to that because I had those same kinds of challenges, and it really does something. It does something, and we have to just figure out a way to overcome it. And yeah, so you're definitely not alone there. So, who are your role models in music? You say you started writing at 6 years old. Were you listening to music and picking up stuff, or was it Pueblo? Some chanting in there with some, I don't know, rap or hip hop or metal, or what was it like?
I have always been a mega fan of Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, mega fan. You can ask anybody on my reservation and they will tell you that I was moonwalking half of the time, just across the floor. I could be at any kind of community event and I'd moonwalk. I just loved Michael Jackson. And then when La Bamba came out, that was just that much more. It just opened a whole new door for me, a whole new love of music, just jamming out and, tearing up my grandma's carpet because I just love to dance and sing. And, one of my main inspirations as far as hip hop has been Queen Latifah. She is amazing. She has been doing music for years. And, she was one of the main pioneers in women's hip hop, just amazing. Love the queen. Love Queen Latifah.
I love Queen Latifah too. She is a powerful, strong woman with a lot to say. She like blasted into that industry musically and in films and movies and just got in there and said, wow, that's so cool.
Yes.
How do you identify?
I would say that I identify as two-spirit.
Mhm.
I see myself truly as an individual here placed on this earth to do our mother's work. I don't see myself as, people may see me as G Precious, they see Brenda, and I just see myself as someone who was placed here to do an amazing job with music, just being gifted and able to just share my life in that fashion. So I would say two-spirited.
That's beautiful. I love that term that was coined in 1990 in a LGBTQIA plus 2 conference in Canada. I think it was Winnipeg, and that started. I actually looked into the research of that and went, where did this beautiful terminology come from? Two-spirited. So it's got a nice ring to it. It says a lot, but it's even open for interpretation as well. So yeah, that's beautiful. Do you have other artistic expressions or disciplines besides music and writing poetry and just being an awesome writer?
Definitely. I would say just, with the cultural background, traditional background, and sharing in that fashion, being able to participate within the community with dancing and, sharing our Tewa language. I've kind of weaved a lot of that into my music as well, utilizing
Mm,
it as a way to educate our kids. I saw it as an opportunity because our children are listening to mainstream artists. And I thought, if our kids are being educated through song, through hip hop, through dance by outside artists, what better way than one of their own to reach them through that same genre, that same alleyway? And so I took my Tewa language, a lot of our drums, our bells, our flutes. I took a lot of those traditional aspects and started weaving it into the hip hop music and using that as a way to educate as well. And so I think that was one of the unique things that I did to try to help educate, a lot of the children.
that is so awesome. Are there any like background influences that really speak to you or come out in your music expressions? For example, cultural, religious, or some of the non-tangible expressions of faith, hope, and that type of stuff that informs your work? Because obviously you've seen some challenges with your biological parents having with issues around addiction, which is um, it's commonplace in Indian reservations for a lot of reasons. But
Oh yeah, yes, definitely. Just the everyday struggles of being on the reservation, growing up on the reservations, being so isolated, and the alcohol, the drugs, suicides, mental health, just so many things that influence my music,
mm,
life lived, and I always tell people 99% of my music is my life. You hear an album, every single song on there is coming from a personal place. I've got maybe one song that just came out of, you know what, I want to get people hyped, I want to get people pumped up, I want to get people dancing, and but outside of that, every single one of those songs just comes from my heart, my heart, my life, my experiences. And that goes from, domestic violence to being lesbian, to being two-spirited, to treading down those paths that a lot of people are afraid to tread down.
Mm.
Following our dreams, reaching for the stars. And that's basically been my whole life, has been creating a road that has never been traveled before.
I hear that, and I'm getting a lot of thoughts and visions in my mind because I've been in New Mexico for decades. So I know a little bit of the landscape, and I've been invited and welcomed and treated very well in pueblos, villages I've been able to perform in as well. And just really impressed with the kindness of the Pueblo people. I understand that every Pueblo has their own dynamics happening, which the outside world, us visitors, we don't know about, nor is it any of our business. And I'm thinking about the officials in the tribal council, and there's 19 different Pueblos, and I know there's a big board with the Santa Fe Indian School, and I wonder, how do those officials respond to your beautiful work with the youth, all the way from the youth into the elders and everything in between with what you're doing? Like, you could be in the big city, you could be in London. I mean, you could be a superstar in Germany, you could be in Japan, China, I mean, you could be in Australia, you could be anywhere, but you choose to stay on the Pueblo with your beautiful wife. Does that get acknowledged? Like, you're a role model to me.
Yeah, it gets acknowledged, and it gets acknowledged by the people, by the children, the elders, not so much by leadership. There's a lot of communities that I've gone into, and the leadership has been amazing, very welcoming. They're thankful that I'm reaching out to our youth, our children, our elders on various topics. My community truly has been a little bit of a challenge. I feel like I get a lot more love and support from outside communities, from outside areas. And I'm not really sure how to peg that or how to see it. But for myself, I just kind of leave it be, because my music carries my message. I see my children, my elders, adults across the various communities that are hearing my music and that are healing from it and will reach out to me and share their stories. To me, that's what makes my path, my musical journey rewarding, is knowing that I'm helping others, while healing myself. Truly being able to just heal others as well has been, amazing. And I think I told you this the other day when we kind of had a little chat, that I put my music out there and I'm just with it for the ride. My music has taken a whole life of its own, and I'm just the hitchhiker.
That's right. I mean, I see you at the NAMMYs and the Grammys, and I'm hearing that you just recently you won 2 music awards at the New Mexico State Music Awards, and then you got nominated for International Best Indigenous Music out of a Canada outfit. And yeah, man, that's like international, put that word in there, that goes global right there. That's a global award. That's very, very impressive. And so I want to tell our audience about your process of songwriting, instrumentation? Do you write a song? Do you sit down and start typing, or do you do quick voice and record melodies out as soon as you jump out of the shower, or do you how does that whole song start for you? I know you've got your jumping off points with experience, and you know, we all can relate to what you're singing about. I know I can. When I hear your music, I cry and I dance at the same time. It's happy tears because somebody else is out there telling a different part of my story too. So can you talk to us about your songwriting process? Because what if some of us want to learn how to write songs too?
So my songwriting process, you know, it always starts with the instrumental. I work with various producers from across the US. And, you know, a lot of times they'll send me music and they'll be like, what do you think about this, G? You know, I've got 5 awesome tracks that I think you would be amazing on. And so they'll send me various beats, various instrumentals. And I have this thing that I do. I always have to burn everything onto a CD. My vehicle has to have a CD player. I have to have a CD player. And so I'll usually jam out, you know, high volume. I'll just listen to the instrumental and see what kind of emotions, what kind of vibe I get from the music in itself. And a lot of times, you know, if it's missing keys, if it's missing violin, you know, if it needs more bass, if it needs to just kick a little bit more, get a little more punch in there, you know, I'll talk to the producer and I'll be like, add this in there, add that, you know, let's make it work. And then I'll share my thoughts as to what I'm feeling, what I'm vibing. And, you know, it could take anywhere from a day to maybe a week to just get a really good feel for the instrumental. But a lot of times it's like, if I'm feeling it, I can write a song like that. In about 15 minutes, I could have something written, hook, verses, everything start to finish. And I'll bump it. I'll bump it for days and, you know, just get a real good feel for it and call up my guy at the studio and be like, I'm ready to lay this track, you know. So that's been my process. And, you know, I love listening. I love listening. I have to vibe with it. I have to feel it. And that's how I work.
So when I want to keep talking about this musical creation that you do, and you already said you can do it in a day, or you could take a week to get the feel for the song, and then comes to the editing and the changing, and then into the studio and laying down the tracks, and then mastering it, and then going, wait, I want to take that line out and add this to it, and all that kind of stuff. And so how many albums have you done so far?
I have released a total of 8 albums. I have 7 albums that are modern contemporary, and then I have 1 album that's traditional, completely traditional. So 8 total.
Wow. Tell us about your upcoming shows. What does your agenda look like, say, in the next 6 months throughout the summer and into the fall?
Wow. That's a loaded question. So I'm currently on my Earthen Roads to Red Carpets tour, and it is taking me throughout the New Mexico communities, lots of public schools. I'll be traveling to Nambe Pueblo on Friday evening. And after that, I'll be traveling to Naka in Albuquerque, Hickory Apache. I'll be traveling to Piccaries. And of course, I'll be swinging back in for Indigi Fest. Yes.
Yeah, Indigenous Ways Festival. Yeah.
Indigenous Ways Festival. Yes. I'll be tuning in on that. I'm just really, really just going to be hitting a lot of communities, sharing my music and my love, my heart with as many kids and elders as possible.
Give it all you got. So tell us about
Yes.
our June 2nd. You're going to be the grand finale act. Last 2 Fridays ago, we had Robert Mirabal as the grand finale act, and he brought his full band and just rocked the grass and the sand and everybody on it. And I'm going to say there was probably about 400 to 500 people there. So
Wow.
it was packed. So we do massive advertising, a lot of PR going out there and social media assets and all of that. So thank you for being a part of that and adding that to your collection of getting your fans over. And we really appreciate that about you. Thank you. It means a lot to us. But what is the stage going to look like for you? So can you give us a picture of what to expect? Everybody, free concert, G Precious, June 2nd, be there. Don't be square. Hey, what's it going to look like?
Yes. All I can say is it's going to be an amazing night of music, dance, love, shared space, just awesomeness. If you miss it, you're going to be kicking yourself, because we're definitely going to have a blast. Coming with full band, vocalists, youth, from youth dancers, children dancers, to other folks doing a lot of creative dance, sharing their heart through motion. It's going to be an amazing night. That's all that's all I can say. I don't want to give away all my cute little, things in there, but yes, we're going to
Well,
have a blast.
we're gonna extend the stage for you so we can pack all of you up there. And
Yes.
before that, right before that, hopefully you'll be able to enjoy Lila June. In fact, she's here tonight. Hey, Lila, sister, how's it going?
Awesome. Hey, Lila.
Yeah. So she's gonna be right before you, and we're really excited about that to
Awesome.
congratulate our sister Lila, who just received her PhD. She's really interested in saving the planet, saving the earth, keeping the old way of life going, and just got a nonprofit going and raising sheep. Yeah, churro sheep. They're the best sheep of all. So thank you for that work, Lila. We appreciate it. We'll talk more about that later. So our theme for this series of festivals that we're doing is gathering. What does that word mean to you?
Gathering is being together, just being one in space, shared heart, shared mind, shared thought, shared love. That's what we need in this world right now. Is just a lot of love, just a lot of caring and understanding for one another. That's what we need, just love. And that's, to me, gathering would be just sharing space and sharing heart, definitely.
Well, you're doing a tremendous amount of service for the communities, and we really, really appreciate it, because you are getting more and more known and all over the map. So if you get invited to go overseas, like to Australia or New Zealand or Germany or London, would you be willing to do that?
I would love to travel. Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
One thing I would say is, I take my people with me everywhere I go. So
there you go. There you go. Got to do that, and be well fed along the way for the energy. You got to keep the energy
work for
going.
food.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So we're so excited to have you, and I really wish that we could have a little clip of one of your little pieces out of your song, just a cappella tonight. Do you think you could do that for us this evening? Just sing us a short piece of your music.
Ooh.
Just with nothing, just your voice.
Just nothing. Wow.
Just you.
I'll give you my Tewa language. version. So here we go.
Okay.
Yahweh when nafa natun sawe omu he uwatowa he when wing na rimunde na uvipari omu uwatiuge di unto na o yongeribo kwaye omeng na oyi navito ingi he uaunda unso yini he wembo intowa womunde wa yiribo bishunde I aging unda bo winame bibisi hemuribo bi di unkapoa ha otunin ha unda kepirehi ami hena poribo winte ami he wembo wi unte apuipi ne haribo wibo wai we sebo witai wenko watiri yo we went pituma hatura namu opaka. So I basically said
Tell us, tell us.
So the beginning says Yahweh Wen Nafang, which means let's go, light it up. Nat Unsawe Omu, which means I'm Blue Basket, which is my Tewa name, Blue Basket. Ooh, and then it goes into talking about how people want respect but aren't willing to give it. You know, people want respect, aren't willing to give it, but yet we're here for our people. And so we're here to lead our people in a good way. This song comes from basically taking serious topic and turning it into fun, you know, using humor as education. And this song has taken off through all the Tewa language speaking communities. Various Tewa language teachers have used this song as a means to teach our kids and have our kids translate it, which is totally awesome. And so when I go into the schools, the kids know this song. And so, you know, we get the kids singing and dancing with just this song. But yes, Tewa language education, yes.
Speaks to my heart in a big way, and I'll tell you why. Because I love to write in language too. And first Navajo song I wrote back in the day was basically, I was asked to record a song, and the producer said, and I wrote this real beautiful poem, you know, starting in a G, and then I got into the studio. I was all proud of my song I wrote, and he goes, no, stop! I want Navajo, and I'm like, oh, what should I do? So I went, and then I went, and I went, okay. My grandma was on Black Mountain herding sheep probably right at that exact time, right? She was probably kicking back on a horse with about 14 sheepdogs around her, controlling about 50 head of sheep. So I just said, Grandma, come to me, you know. And she came to me. And basically, I just said what she told me growing up. Basically, you guys are all going crazy. Remember the old ways and go back to the old ways, because Mother Earth is crying right now, you know. Listening to that outside talk is too noisy. And that was really amazing. And my best friend's here tonight, Candy, and she was there when it got recorded. Hey, Candy, remember that? Yeah, that's great. I love it. I love writing in language. It's really cool. And I love bilingual, you know, trilingual. I haven't tried that yet, but kind of in a way we do, though, because you're going to be singing in language. And then I'm sure you're going to make sure the interpreters get access to that so they can put it into ASL. So, and then you're going to you know, sing in English language with your own beat. So really, you're going to be doing 3 languages on the stage on June 2nd, because you're going to be working with these beautiful interpreters that you see here, although our beautiful brother Chris in California won't be here till August, but we'll have Chris in August. So we're really excited to have these amazing qualified interpreters that really appreciate your lyrics beforehand. So thank you for sending all that to the interpreters as well. So how do you feel about having ASL interpreters on stage with you?
I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. I was on stage last year and we had interpreters, and it was just beautiful to be able to watch the students from New Mexico School of the Deaf to be able to know my lyrics and feel the song through interpretation was amazing. I think that's beautiful. I mean, that helped me truly make new fans, and that was just beautiful for me, to have students walk up to me and just shake my hand afterwards, and to utilize one of your interpreters to help them say thank you for the songs was beautiful. I truly was appreciative and very thankful.
Well, to
And I
do
think
one,
more people should do that.
oh, that's what we're doing. We're raising
Yes,
the bar, starting with our brother
yes.
Chris. I won't talk about Chris, even though I want to, but he's our interpreter that raises the bar for the Indigenous community because of who he is, what he does in California for the deaf community. He's got his own TV show. He's got his own show on Facebook, the news, and puts it out in a language that people can understand, and without you having to rely on English word order, which doesn't even make sense. When you speak your language, you break it into the English, you have to change the whole thing, right? You have to add like articles and tenses and all this other kind of stuff. So yeah, that's really beautiful. So just to do a last plug about your show on June 2nd, we will have 5 ASL interpreters on the grounds. We'll have 3 native deaf vendors, 1 ASL workshop going, and then we'll have James Woodenlegs there, and he's pretty much just on the ground supporting us in any way he can, gets on the stage and does blessings, and he's a healer from the Northern Cheyenne tribe. So
Cool.
we're going to have a nice audience of local Santa Feans and surrounding communities, plenty of Pueblos. Tewa Women United have been really supportive in sponsoring us in any way they can. We had Evelyn Ronjo get up on stage with some Pueblo sisters, Myra Garcia, and some others that got to open the last festival to honor, commemorate give awareness to missing and murdered Indigenous women. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We love your movement. We can't wait to hear from you anytime you do anything. We're just like, oh man, there's hope for all of us, because look at G, we can do it too. I'm going to pass it to Elena now. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for that, Tash. And gee, wow. I knew you were a good person, and I want to thank Shelley and Phobe, Shelley Morningsong and Phobe, for introducing us. We were desperate for a performer, and they said, hey, contact G. And I knew you were amazing, and just hearing the extraordinary love service that you're doing in the community makes me respect and love you more. So for me to say thank you, I don't even have the words or the vocabulary of my deep gratitude of your give back, and not only for our beloved communities, but your walk, you're doing it, making a difference. You're talking about, well, the youth more relate to hip hop, so that's the style I'm going to do and bring in these experiences. So thank you. And also congratulations on being the latest 2023 AIP Native Launchpad recipient through Western
Yes.
Arts Alliance. Huge, huge deal. And I know Lila is here, and thank you, Lila, for being here. Also, with the genre that you're in, hip hop, you know, and being Indigenous women, you're a demographic in that genre of like a sliver, you know, I was saying 0.0001 if you're lucky. So that so not only with your accolades and your music, but to get this wonderful award, which will really invest in the music in you. So I'm just so happy and thrilled for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So
Yes.
I'm going to do a little ad, and after I finish, I'm going to invite everyone to come in if you've got any questions or just want to check in. That's going to be the time. You're probably going to be bustling, asking, like, G is here. G is here. G is in the house. And I love, Lila said a little bit earlier, you know, um, I'm the number one G Precious mega fan. I'm going to be the number 1.5 or 1.25. I'm up there too. So anyway, this is what's happening next month. Same channel, same place. We've got the beautiful Dilbert Anderson, who is Danae. He's also a past recipient of the AIP Native Launchpad, and what he's done in the music fields, his genre is jazz. He plays the trumpet. He's really, really extraordinary. He's going to be blessing us in June. So put that on your calendars for the beautiful Dilbert. G Precious, if you want to see more of her, you can, not only on June the 2nd, but we're going to have this video of G available in the next couple of days in our archives. If you go to our website, IndigenousWays.org, you will see the library there. And in the library, there is over 200 Indigenous LGBTQIA2 plus S and deaf and hard of hearing presenters, artists, musicians. We've also got Lila June, who is here, who is in there, Orletta, who is here, that is in the archives. This archives is growing. So make sure you check out these extraordinary people doing extraordinary things in our community, the better humanities. We need that at this time. So thank you. So that's going to be available. Please share it with your friends and peeps. We also have, if you want to go to our newsletter, or you can put your email to me or the Indigenous Ways. If you want to be on our database so you know what's coming up, we've got a lot of things coming up, which is really wonderful. And then down below, you'll see flashing all of our social media sites. If you're in our social media site now, or you're looking at the recording of this, please like our pages. We'd love that. If you're in on Zoom, go in and like our pages, as well as G's social media pages as well. It's really important. We need that support. And as you know, we've been beaming out since the 1st of April 2020. And so this wouldn't have been possible without our sponsors. So I want to give a shout out to the National Arts Endowment, or the National Endowments of the Arts, the City of Santa Fe Arts and Culture Department. And we also received more funding for them to keep going from July the 1st, the next 12 months. So thank you for that. The Arts and Culture Department from the City of Santa Fe. Also sponsoring us is the Santa Fe Community Foundation, the Envision Fund, specifically for our LGBTQIA 2S plus community artists, performers, and also the New Mexico Arts. And also we want to thank each and every one of you, our individual donors, our board members that have made these platforms absolutely possible to support extraordinary artists, people like G doing this extraordinary stuff in our community. Now, Tash was talking about this. If you didn't get to go here, that's okay because we've got one more. But these are pictures taken, just some of them, from our May Indigenous Ways Arts Festival. Not only was it full moon, it was eclipse, it was Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women's National Awareness Day, it was Cinco de Mayo, there was meteorites. I mean, what more could one have except for celebrating us and still being here under the full moon? So that was happening. We were supporting our emerging artists. So we had a number of youth coming up on the main stage. We had a fashion show. It was just fun, wonderful. We have Indigenous foods, artisans, the whole works, celebrating and gathering for community. So if put this on your calendars, June the 2nd, 5 to 9 p.m. There you're going to see Joshua Dixon, who is an emerging artist, traditional singer. He's going to start us off. We've got the beautiful Lila June, who is with us this evening. She's going to be doing an amazing set. And I also want to speak up to this woman because she's been doing extraordinary stuff. So when you come on, Lila, let us all know what you've been up to. Congratulations, Dr. Lila June. Congratulations. It's huge, huge, huge. And then finishing the evening is going to be no other than the beautiful G, who you've heard a little bit about. Now, if you're not living in Santa Fe, don't worry because we're also beaming it live. So you can go to our website, IndigenousWays.org, and register so you don't get to miss out, especially if you're not in this area. Or plan to come. Indian Market, Friday the 18th, we'll have Joy Harjo. We've got Larry Mitchell. We've got one of the Eulali singers. We've got youth at workshops, all sorts of things of how to re-engage if we've been sitting behind the computer screen for the last 3 years. That was the whole idea of it, and celebrating our indigeneity. And then what else have I got? Oh yes, if you want to and able to, we'd love for you to donate to our to either PayPal, Venmo. We've got, you can go to our website, there's a donate button, or you can go to the snail mail. If you believe in us and want to keep this format going, whether it be the Indigenous Ways Wisdom Circle or our festivals where we can support amazing artists like G. And now I've just turned on all the videos and also the microphones. So if you're in the Zoom and you want to come in, and celebrate each and every one of us, please do come over. And what will happen is Tash is going to open it up for questions. I want to remind you we're beaming out live through our social networks. So if you're feeling a little bit whakama, which is shy, chat something in the chat box, because it's these powerful words that keep these extraordinary artists going. Before I turn it over to Tash, I want to give a shout out to DeSanti, who's also on this Zoom, and also David Gomez. They're part of the band. No Siesta. So, and they've got this unbelievable schedule. Tash, we should get this mob in too, because their music has been really extraordinary. So on that beautiful note, I'm going to give it to you, Tash.
All right. Well, I want to give it up for our amazing ASL interpreters, Mariah and Crest, who are very, very committed to this platform. Thank you very much. Our beautiful elder, Arletta Tolan. This is a sign for Arletta. And she's here. Everybody can see her. She wouldn't be able to be joining this show if we didn't have our interpreters. Looks like we just lost her. Amber, thank you for being here. Denise And let's go ahead and start with DeSanti. Would you like to share some words with us tonight? Oh, we need to unmute.
Wow. Thank you for inviting me. I wasn't expecting this. It's an honor to be able to share a stage with G Precious always, and I value the friendship, and I'm really proud of the message that you send and the work that you do. And I'm honored to work with you in any way possible. So thank you for that, Tazo Kamati. I'm grateful.
Muchas gracias. All right, Amber, how's it going?
Thank you so much. Tasha and Elena, you know I love you. G Precious, oh, wow. As a queer elder, as a former teacher, as a recovering addict, as a woman who was in the non-traditional trades, supporter of language preservation, I don't know, just so many levels, you touch me. And your music touches me, but also all the things that you do. And I just want to share that last year, when you brought on the bow and arrow dancers, I was crying. I was crying because of all the levels of what that was. And so I just honor your work and thank you so much. And if you have anything to say about that, I'd love to hear it. But really, thank you for all the levels that are in there.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear from Denise. Would you like to say some words?
Hey, G Precious. Thank you so much for letting me know about this, about that you'd be speaking tonight. It was wonderful. It was fantastic hearing more about you, and amazing just watching how you've continued to grow, stay true to your passion and true to yourself, and continue giving back to your community. You've always done that. You've always been yourself. It's very inspiring. And I just feel very honored to know you and to call you my friend.
Yes, thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Denise. All right, are we able to hear from Lila June? Hey, Lila, what's up, sister?
Hey, what's up? I don't know if you can hear me okay or see me.
Yeah,
I
Loud
can't
and
see me,
clear.
but I trust. Okay, cool. Hey, I'm just cooking like hamburgers for 16 beautiful people or 9 beautiful people. And we are actually building a traditional hogan. I'll show you here in the background. You see it way in the distance. There's a whole one being built, our traditional structure. So I'm having a beautiful time just listening to all of you. I put it in the chat, but I'm definitely the #1 G Precious mega fan. Ever since I seen you, I think it was with you, Tosh. You hosted something, and I seen G Precious perform, on Zoom, and I was like, yes, say it again. So anyways, I'm honored to be alongside you and to be there on June 2nd. Thank you, Tosh, for all that you do. Thank you, Elena, for all that you do. And you guys just keep it up, keep doing what you do. And I'm honored to be a part of this community.
Thank you for always supporting us, Lila June. And did you want to say some words, G?
Oh, yeah. I just want to thank everybody that came on this evening to share time, share space with me. I greatly appreciate it. I always love hearing how my music reaches people, how it's affected their lives or helped them heal. And, I'm just very thankful to be able to share my life, my music with everyone. And, thankful to see familiar faces this evening is great. Just great.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. G. You
Thank you.
know,
Thank you for keeping it real too. I mean, I feel like tonight we really talked about some deep heart stuff and went beyond the surface and into the stuff, the words that really matter, the words that really impact people's lives, the words that give hope, the words that hurt, and how to negotiate it and be okay in it all and be able to persevere and not quit and give up and go, nah, I'm just going to work across the street at Walmart and stay under the radar or whatever that saying is. Thank you for stepping out. Thank you for stepping out. It's very, very courageous of you. Like you had.
thanks
Anybody
for that,
else?
Tash. And then I want to go to our chats. We've got our beautiful board member, Homer Hubble, who is with us, and he put in the chat, Nijonie, G, Precious, the work you do with youth and with your Tewa language is awesome. I want to welcome Sue Raven, who has arrived. Thank you, Sue, so much for blessing us. You know, it's that wonderful time where we get to wind down, but I want to thank each and every one of you for blessing us in this electronic circle. Wherever you're beaming in from, whether you're here live or watching the recording on or our social media, thank you, thank you, thank you for blessing us with your time. I want to also thank our wonderful ASL interpreters. We've got Mariah Garcia and also Crescesiano Garcia, not related, but fantastic last names. I also, you know, this speaks volumes within itself. We've got a number of extraordinary musicians, artists that have come in tonight. And the only conclusion that I can give that they're here is to give support to G Precious. And as she gave a little slither of this extraordinary walk of making fundamental changes in communities, only starting with self first, what that also says is this extraordinary love she has from fellow musicians and artists to be here. So I just want to acknowledge that and thank each and every one of you for the amazing work that you do. We're going to look forward to seeing you back here in the third Wednesday, which is June the 21st, same time, same channel, 6 to 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And that is for the one and only Dilbert Anderson, DDAT, the trumpeter. I guess that's a trumpeter, you know, trombonist or that. He will be joining us in the Wisdom Circle next month. If you want more, go to our website, IndigenousWays.org. Find G Precious, her video that'll be available in the next couple of days. Share it, share it, share it, share it. And we'll
And
look
also,
forward to
Corrine from Tiwu just now put in the chat. See the link above for G Precious performance and role as keynote MC at our most recent Pathways to Success conference for Indigenous youth and families. And G is actually wearing that T-shirt now, right? G, you got that T-shirt on. The Pathways.
Yes.
Let's have a look, G. Give it a good plug.
Wearing my pathways.
Wow, that's beautiful. Who designed that?
That is
Man,
very
that's
cool.
awesome.
Pathways to Success. Yes.
Love
That was an amazing conference shared with Native American high school students that are prepping to go into college, career. Amazing space. I was just very honored to be their keynote and, you know, motivate and uplift.
Absolutely, absolutely. So in the chat and all throughout the social networks, please go to therealgprecious.com. If you want G in your communities, contact G through there. And saying that, please, let's give it up for the one and only, giving her time to us and a slither of this amazing walk, a blessed walk that she's been on. Let's give it up for the one and only G Precious! Yes.
All right, everybody, stay safe tonight and keep it real. We love you.
Same song sung no more. Take a breath, step outside, feel the rain